chilling, hakuna mambo mingi. I hope you're doing well. The end of year is here. Who would have thought that 2024 would come to an end? Man, we've had so many things going, eh? Man, but here we are. End of year now. Already nishaanza kusikiza ma Christmas carols kila mahali. Even that thing on Google is now, you know, ishavalishwa ile nini ya Santa. Man, listen. So I've been thinking. This is just random thought, stroke conversation, and based on the title of this video, I can probably say based on experience, but I don't have much experience when it comes to these matters. But I just felt it is important for me to talk about this because ni kitu yenye, this is our norm now. This is our norm in the times that we are in, that most of us today in the dating marketplace, we're probably going to date a divorcee. Because this is our norm. Hii sasa ndio kawaida yetu, and this is us for the rest of our lives. Whether we like it or we don't, this is our lives now. So you are either dating a divorcee or you are going to date a divorcee very soon. So I thought, having been there, why not just give you tips on what to look out for when you're dating somebody who's been married and divorced. Somebody who's been married and divorced. Now, personally, having been married or living with someone, I would say cohabitating. I mean, whatever it is you would like to put it as, to avoid remembering the pain and the hurt, living in denial. There are a few things there, naweza sema, having been there, would probably be hard to date someone like me, especially if you've never been married. If you've never been married, if you've been single and you're now looking for like a life partner, I would probably advise that you do not date someone who's been married before. Someone who's been married and divorced. Because coming from there, and from my own personal experience, we are very delicate to deal with. We are very delicate. And I'll say we are very delicate. I'll use delicate in air quotes to say, or I can probably use fragile. Naweza tumia fragile ama delicate. Because dealing with someone who's been married before and then now they are single again is not easy. It's not easy. Hiyo si kitu. And that's why nasema I wouldn't advise you to do it. I wouldn't advise anyone to date someone who's been married before. But since this is the world we're living in, this is our reality. Somebody's probably going to date me. Somebody's probably going to be in a relationship with me at one point or the other. I mean, I'm out there. Now, number one, there are people who've been married before and their marriages ended and they jumped right into another relationship. So you're probably like a rebound person. Kama una date mtu kama huyo mwenye, they got divorced and then they jumped right into a relationship. Now, you need to be on the lookout because huyo mtu, every day of your relationship, ama whatever it is you guys have, they will always be looking for that other person. You need period, you need given, if you've been there, ama if you're the rebound person, you know, they will always be looking for the other person. There is something in the other person that they are looking for in you. So, ukimiss step moja, you'll always hear things like, you don't do things the way she does. You don't do things the way he does. There will always be something like my ex did, my ex that. Itakuwa ni comparison. And it's going to be a lot of work for you. It will drain you so much. You will hate yourself. Oh my goodness, you will hate yourself. Now, most likely, the person who does that ni ule msee mwenye alikuwa the offender in the previous relationship. So whatever they did, since they have not taken time to rethink and change their ways, they're probably going to do the same thing they did to the other person they left. Now, second kind of person that I need you to look out for is somebody who was married, then divorced, and then married again and got into a relationship with you, and they are always playing victim. That victim person, you need to be on the lookout for that person. That is a dangerous person. Huyo ni mtu atakufanya vitu hujai, yani they have no remorse. They probably are the ones who caused the other relationship to end. They are probably the person who's one they're dragging the other person vibaya sana, and especially if there's kids involved. You don't want to be in a relationship with a victim, with somebody who plays victim, because huyo msee always, they are always bitter towards the other person, and most of the time that bitterness will overflow to you. Atakwambia vitu utabaki ukishindwa, kwani mimi nimedu? You've literally woken up in the morning and the person is angry. Unashindwa, kwani nimedu nini? And they are always playing victim. You can't confront them, you can't tell them anything. They know it all, but they are always playing victim. You start to wonder, ai, kama unajua hizi vitu zote, kwa nini hapa unataka nikufilie uishi? Like, it doesn't make sense. Come on, man. Oh my goodness. But sadly, this is what we have today. This is what we have today. Hizi ndio relationship tuko nazo leo. The third kind of divorcee that this is now where I put myself in, is the person who, after the previous relationship ended, they took time to be with themselves. They took time to heal. They took time to correct their wrongs. I mean, mse amechukua time yake go through hiyo moment yote, go through the ups and downs, the every what do I call it? Every motion that comes with being divorced. They've gone through the heartbreak, the on, the off, yeah. And then they finally come to a place where they've accepted, you know what? Iliisha, there's nothing I can do about it now. They picked their lessons, they've learned their lessons, they've looked at the mistakes they made and they have accepted it. I made this mistake that led to this being here, and that's how the marriage ended or the relationship ended. And now I'm ready to move on. Now, when it comes to this kind of person, sasa hapa ndio saa mimi niko ndani, having taken my time and healed and recovered and gone through every emotion that comes with divorce. Now, kuna kitu moja niliambiago before I ever got married. Someone told me, it is better to have a broken engagement than to have a broken marriage. Because a broken engagement, you can always come out of. You can recover, heal, move on. A broken marriage, you will never recover from. Now, this broken marriage in terms of the other person died. So this person is widowed or a widower. There is also the kind where they probably have kids. So they've healed, yes, but they have kids. So that means they have responsibility to fulfill with the other person. That is a delicate situation to be in, but there's also someone like me who's been married with no kids from the previous relationship, and now I'm here. Now, I'm not going to talk more about hizo zingine. I'm not going to talk about the ones with kids because I don't have kids, so I don't know the experience. The only part I know is that you probably, if you're dealing with someone who has kids, they're probably dealing, especially if they're the guy and they're dating you and they have kids with the previous relationship, they're probably dealing with a bitter baby mama. They're probably dealing with child support. They're probably dealing with, they have to deal with the courts and all that, and also divorce court, family court, and that means they are paying child support to the other woman, and they have this arrangement going. And so anytime you come in between that, you need to always be aware that kuna mtu mwingine ako in the picture, and they probably do not have a good history with the other person. So when dealing with the other person, some of that drama will overflow to you. But again, if they are mature enough to know how to handle the situation, then you're lucky. Now, today I want to talk about dating and living with a person who's a divorcee, does not have kids. Now, mimi sasa ndo naingilia hapo. So, one thing that I'm going to tell you, especially if you're a chick and you're dating a man who has been divorced, who's been married before and then divorced, and you're probably looking towards getting into marriage and having kids and having a family with this person. Number one, I'm going to tell you very, very important lesson is you have to be patient. You have to have another level of patience that is beyond words. Sababu, number one, this is someone who has been there. Probably, if the other person cheated, in my case, if there was an affair that ended the marriage, like for someone like me, I don't want to really get into marriage again. I don't. Sitaki kuingia hapo tena, nijikute niko kwa situation ingine, yenye I have to deal with another human being playing the same kind of games. So I would, and this I always tell anyone who I'm dealing with, hey, listen, I do not want to get into marriage again. I don't know. Right now at my age, I'm turning 40 in 6 months. So definitely, I do not want to have kids right now or ever in my life. I have made peace with that. I don't want to have a family. I don't want to have a wife. I don't want to spend my 40s thinking about someone else, thinking about coming home to deal with kids. Nah, I think I've already nimework sana in my life. I don't want to get into my 40s and still continue to toil and deal with other people in close range. Kama ni biashara, hiyo ni sawa, hiyo naweza deal nayo huko. Kama ni extended family and family brothers, au naweza deal now from na huko. But in my life, somebody I do not want. And most of the people who have been married and divorced, as men, we don't want to get into another relationship. Nah, we don't. And here's why. Because we're afraid to go through another season that will end up leading you to losing a second marriage. Now, here's the thing. And that's why most of the people, when you may get married tena, they work so hard to make sure that they do not lose the second marriage. So they are going to compromise a lot. They are going to be the one to give a lot, give in terms of money, energy, attention, give all that a lot, because they do not want to go through another divorce that is going to lead now people saying that this, you are the crazy one. Kama hizo ni mbili zimeisha, you are definitely the one who is crazy. They are not going to listen to you, and you don't want to be in that position. So that's why most people prefer, hey, wacha nikae tu solo. The other one drained me so much, I don't want to be involved with any other person. Okay? So this person will always have these down moments. A lot of down moments. One, you have to be patient, because this person is going through the motions. He's now dealing with you as another human being. And he's, kama mimi, anytime I'm dealing with someone, I'm thinking everything they do, I'm trying my very best not to compare her with my previous. So I'm doing like, ni kama kuride motorbike. It's like just riding a motorcycle. Being a biker, you're always looking ahead and looking behind. At the same time, macho iko mbele, unaona kwa unaenda, but you're always looking at the side mirrors, looking, hey, who's coming behind me? How fast are they going? Do I need to move to the side for them to leave? Who is overtaking the person who's behind me? You're always on the lookout for stuff. And most of the time, it is so draining. And so this person will always have this up and down moments. It's going to be a spiral, up and down, up and down. Today they are good, tomorrow they are not. Today they are happy, tomorrow not so much. And you have to deal with that coming in. You have to know all these things coming into this relationship, because you're dealing with someone who, yes, anaenda huko, I'm moving forward, but I'm also looking out for the red flags. You see, I'm in a point where it is easy for me to see red flags right now. Before my marriage, red flags zilikuwa like today, having taken time nikapona, I look at it and I'm like, nili ignore red flag hapa, nika ignore red flag hapa, nika ignore hii na hii ndio ilikuja ikakula marriage. So I don't want to deal with another human being ni ignore kitu yoyote. I don't want to ignore anything else like I did before ikanikula. So it's easy for me to look at someone and see this person is genuine and this person is not. It is easy to spot red flags hivi. Hiyo hata inisumbui akili. I would look at you and I would know, hii endi mahali. I mean, I've been out here. Nimekuwa huku nje. Although I'm not dating, I'm not looking towards having a long-term relationship. I do get into, relationships here and there. I do go out with chicks every once in a while, and I'll be looking at them and I'm like, huyu hata siwezi taka. This is the last moment I'm going to see this person. Because you're like, hii siwezi deal nayo. They have trauma, they have bitterness, they have all this, and they are bringing it to you. So for someone like me, it's so easy to spot a red flag. And most likely, I will not ignore it now. Because ishanikula tena. Mwaisikia ile saying inasemaga, ukiumwa na nyoka, alafu ukutane na kamba kwa barabara, utaogopa. You're probably going to change routes. Na ni kamba tu. Why? Because it reminds you of the snake. Unaona tu kamba tu kwa barabara, ama unaona tu kitu imepita kwa barabara and you're thinking, oops. So ukiumwa na nyoka once ni, that's what happens. And that is now, hiyo tu ni reality ya life. Like if you go through something, you're probably going to do your best to avoid going through it again. Unaget kile namaanisha. So mtu kama mimi ni rahisi kuspot red flags. Na niseme, hii sitaki kudeal nayo. Because I've already dealt with something that was similar to this and it took me out. So I don't want to go through it again. For someone like me again, one of the most, and this is huge, this is where I'm going to end on this. We get triggered a lot. We get triggered a lot. Anyone who's been married and divorced and taken their time to heal, and then now they are ready to go into another relationship. Remember, it is not permanent. You will still remember things. It's like when you lose someone, when someone dies. When someone dies, utakuwa unakaa hivi unakumbuka, now I'm talking this from experience on both sides. I've lost both my parents, I've lost my grandparents. And so, I know. My mom died 26 years ago. My dad died 5 years ago. As much as the pain is long gone, when it comes especially with my mom, 26 years ago, the pain is gone. The pain of losing her is gone. But her memory is still here. Kuna time ndasikia mtu amesema kitu nikumbuke madhe immediately. Because nakumbuka madhe alikuwa anaongea hivyo. Like that will never go away. It's the same feeling. Divorce is like death. Only that you get to see the person. I still get to meet my ex. I don't talk to her, but I still meet her. I still see her around. Her friends, some of her friends we still talk. And at some point tukibonga hivi mtu atamention in passing. But, it is what it is. It shall happen. And so that's what I'm telling you. When you're dealing with someone who's been involved, especially in a marriage setup, the memory of the other person will always be there. The pain may be gone, but the memory will always be there. and most of the time utasema ama ufanye kitu yenye itamtrigger. And this is why I said, number one, you need to have another level of patience with this person. Now, I'm not saying that it is wrong to date. I mean, I'm just saying this is a reality that we are facing today. Most of you watching this video today, you are either dating or married to a divorcee. Period. This is our new normal. Hii sasa ni maisha yetu sasa. This person has either been married before or widowed. And now you came into the picture. If you ever meet someone and they've never been married and you've never been married, and you've probably both of you been waiting for each other, and then that's okay. This video is not for you. I'm talking about people like me who've been there and then came out. Took time to heal, took time to go through the motions, the pain, until we go to a point now the bitterness is gone. Now we only have a memory. You will deal with a lot of triggers when dealing with someone like me. You will say something or do something. Sometimes you will even hang up on me. I'm calling you on the phone and we are talking and you'll be like, give me 1 second, let me finish something here. And that will trigger me to be like, what the fuck is this going on now? It will be a trigger for me. We'll probably be talking and having a conversation, and then you will say something, boom, and it will trigger me. Now, many people don't know how to deal with triggers. Many people have not, as much as tume go through na tume deal na pain na bitterness, triggers ndio bado hatujajua kudeal nazo. I mean, just like I said, the example I gave about losing my mom 26 years ago. Saizi kuna mtu anaweza ongea hapa hivi nje, and I would remember exactly my mom. Either ndasikia sauti ama kuna kitu atasema in passing, and I'll be like, I miss my mom. Now, the pain, the bitterness, that pain of losing her is gone, but the memory is always be there. So we'll always see, there's something she will say, there's something they will do. I will see a woman beating up her child and I will remember my mom. Sio kwa ubaya, like it's just normal. The same thing, you will say something or do something that will remind me of my ex. And immediately, utaona nime switch off. Ama utaona nimesema, ama ndasema kitu, and that conversation will be over. And you'll be left there wondering, what is happening? Now, if you do not have patience, my friend, you're going to lose. Because let me tell you something, there is nothing as good as dating someone who's been there. We know how to love. We know what to do and what not to do. We've been through the motions. We've had it all. We've taken time to heal. We've taken time to analyze. We've seen. I always, anytime I meet someone, I always tell them, this was my mistake in the marriage. I accept it. I take it in. I'm like, nilikosea hapa, na nikakosea hapa, na nikakosea hapa. That's why I said, if you ever meet someone who's always playing victim, just know that person is the one who caused the marriage to end. And because they don't want to admit it, they just go around, oh, shit, that guy did this and did this. Then you ask them, what did you do to make him do that? What? But what? They will run. They will play around your, they will tap around your question and boom, itapotelea. So if you're the kind of person to ignore red flags, uta-ignore yo. Because you're not asking the right questions. Now, another thing about dating someone like me is that I will ask you questions that you will not be able to answer. I will ask you a question about yourself that you will have to think about for a couple of days. Why? Because I know sometimes I'm not even looking for the answer. I'm looking at how you respond to the question, so that I know, is this the kind of person I would want to spend my life with? Or is this the kind of person who will always want to show me, to prove a point? Because if you just answer immediately and you can't after response, then I'll know you're looking to prove a point. You are out. You're a red flag, and I will run. Because one, I've taken time to heal, and I've taken time to understand myself. During this healing period, I've spent a lot of time with myself. I mean, I've done a lot of videos here. I've done hundreds of videos from right here by myself, taking time, going through the motions. You will see if you go through the videos. And by the way, I want to appreciate all of you who watch this content. Asanteni sana. Most of this content, I don't even do it for people. I do it for myself so that I can always come back to this point and look and see, damn, I'm doing better. Yeah. Like there's a video I put up and I was so angry and I was so drunk. It's right, iko hapa tu kwa hii channel. So when I put up that video, I said things. It was just a short video. I think it must have been like 2-3 minutes. But niliongea, I was in pain, man. So I brought it all out. I said it. You can literally see the pain in my eyes as I'm talking. But every time when I do and I go back to that video, nikiangalia, I'm always like, I've really come a long way. It's always inakuanga kama measuring point ya kuangalia, okay, how far have I come? This is where I was. I go back to that moment and I see myself in that zone, and then I look back and I'm like, I have really made progress. So hizi videos I may post, most of them zinakuanga tu zangu, to look back, to always go back to and see how far I have come in this whole process. Because nilianza kufanya hii content immediately after my marriage. Before my marriage, I was in radio. So every video you watch that I'm doing in radio is a complete different story. But easy there nafanyia hapa, I started doing it immediately. Like my ex left on a Thursday and I started doing videos on a Saturday. Immediately hivi. So I was in pain in all that. There are even videos I haven't released there. Ziko hapa lakini ziko set private so that I can watch them myself. So that's just me saying. And what I was saying before I went back there is, for someone like me, the reason you see me saying I don't want to get into another relationship is because wakati ninapenda, when I love deeply. Mi fall kabisa. Mi sinanga ati 50-50, ati I'm going to give you as when I love you, it's just going to be genuine and I'm going to go all out. So if you fuck me up, oh my God, it will take a long time to come from there. So I try to protect myself by putting a face, and I'm like, I don't want this. I don't want a relationship. So I'm like, I really don't want it. I don't want to. So every chick nimekutana naye, straight up from the word go, mi wambia, mi sitaki relationship. I don't want relationship. I don't want marriage. I don't want kids. It's another chick who is still mad at me because of that. To this day, I told her that when in June or May, I met her earlier. She's a pretty chick, by the way. And I think the reason that I meant to nikafanya hii video is because of late I've been meeting really good women, really good, amazing women. And I'm like, wow, if only I met you 6 years ago. Damn, man. And so I look at them and I look at how kind and nice they are. And I'm like, I really do not want, you do not deserve to be with someone like me with all the ups and downs and the moments and the triggers so I protect them by saying no. Yeah, I do. And the funny part is most of them, I still meet them every time. And they are really good women. They are hardworking. They are everything a man would want. Just that I don't want to live. I don't want to have them around, because I know with everything that, all the triggers, all the motions, all the memories, I don't want to have something so good and keep comparing it with the past. Because like I said, being in a relationship with a divorcee, as a divorcee, being in a relationship today is like riding a motorcycle on the highway. Your eyes are focused on where you're going. Your mind is focused on where you're going, but your eyes are always looking out for shit. You're always looking behind, looking at the side mirrors, looking to the side, looking who's crossing the road. What if a dog passes by? By the time unashuka hiyo bike, manzee, unakuanga umechoka. Si ati because safari imekuwa ndefu, no. It's because you always unafanya mahesabu through and through. What if dogi ikipita nikiwa speed ya 120? What if gari ikiovertake ikuja inisukume hapa initoe hapa? What if ile gari inakuja pale ikiovertake na ananiona? What if, you're always looking out for shit that by the time unamaliza hiyo safari ilikuwa ya 30 minutes, lakini ukishuka kwa hiyo bike umechoka. And now I'm talking as a biker and as somebody who's been in a relationship and it ended. So I'm giving you a real life experience of what it is being in a relationship today with me, because I'm always going to be on the lookout. What if this is a phase? What if she stops being nice the moment she moves in with me? What if once she has kids? What if she comes in and she starts cheating? What if there's all these what ifs that anytime I'm dealing with someone, probably for the time I'm dealing with them, I'm probably just going to be tired all through, because there's in my mind, there's all these what ifs. What if this happens? What if this happens? What if I commit and now we have kids and they start cheating and now I have to... You can get the picture. Sijui kama unapata picha. So that's it, man. That's all I felt like I wanted to share today. That people may know. This is for you to know. For a long time it's been for me to know and for you to find out. But now it's just for you to know. And be careful and consider. Think about it over and over. Are you able to handle? Do you have the capacity to handle this other person with their on and offs? Are you going to be judgmental? Are you going to be too hard on them? Are you going to be impatient? If that's you, if that's the kind of nature you are, are you irritable? If you're easily irritable, unakasirikanga tu haraka haraka, please do not get into a relationship with someone who's been married and divorced or widowed, because you're probably going to drain them and you're going to chase them away by being all this angry, evil human being. You have to be patient. You have to have another level of patience, my friend. And you always have to be there. And this now the part. Think about it. It's like having someone who's chronically ill and you always have to be there with them during the times when they are going through it. Of course, they are not chronically ill throughout. It's someone with, let's say someone with cancer. Kuna time ataenda, akishaenda chemo, once they come out from chemotherapy, that thing takes everything out of them, because hizo madawa zikifanya kazi kwa mwili, bro, it weakens every part of them. Now, you being in a relationship with someone like that, you have to go through every moment. You have to be there when they're going through chemo, after chemo, then they are back to stability, and then they continue for a while, and then kidogo kidogo is back, and now you have to go through it over and over again. You must have another level of patience and understanding and love that is beyond anything that anyone can. That is beyond reproach. That's all I can say. That you love them despite their ups and downs. You love them when they are triggered. Some kitu ili happen na huko akakuwa triggered and now they are down and now you have to deal with that. It is what it is. It's the life we live in. And this is our reality today. So if this is the kind of relationship you're in or you're planning to get into, it's a good thing. You're getting yourself into a good thing. You're getting yourself into a relationship with someone who knows exactly what they want. And that is so good because it takes off the stress. This is a person who's directed. They know what they want out of life. They're not playing games. But you still have to deal with this other part that comes with them. Are we together? I think nimeshaongea sana. Sasa nikunywe chai yangu hapa. Niendelee kuwatch movie. Think about that. All right? Peace.